Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my page, Money Making Juggernaut. I'm your host, Eric Richardson. Today, we have a great video in store. I am here with Jeff Richmond. He is the founder and creator of Tracktool. We are going to go over a software that can assist you guys in excess proceeds. Now, when it comes to my channel, you guys know I'm always dropping gems for you guys. I'm always giving you tips and tricks. And now I'm going to give you some tools that can help you run your business efficiently. Now, if you guys are somebody who is currently doing this business or looking to get started in this business, this tool that we are going to share with you today is going to be something that can help you. So make sure you watch the whole video, determine if it's going to be a good fit. We're going to go over what it offers and how much it costs so you guys can determine if you actually want to use this. At the end, we're also going to give you guys a great deal on this software. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the whole episode. All right, Jeff, let's go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself and what you have to offer.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Richmond. I have been in the business for about over a decade. I've gotten checks as little as $4,500 and as large as over $417,000, and I can show them to you without a problem later on. And what I found in this business was that there was nothing to assist me. So when I first started, I had a partner, and then we had about 15 people working for us. And I was losing tens of thousands of dollars a month because all these people working for me around the country were sending deals my way, and I was losing some of them. They were, as you say, slipping through the cracks. And I really didn't want that happening. And so I searched high and low for a system that could assist me. And I couldn't find anything. So then we went to some of the bigger CRMs that are out there that were at the time semi-customizable. So I was spending hundreds of dollars, well, thousands of dollars actually, and hundreds of hours semi-customizing the software. And while they were really good software systems, they couldn't do what I needed to do. They couldn't take care of paperwork properly. They couldn't do the profit analysis so I could see all my money properly on what was coming in versus what was going out. I couldn't have effectively all my information in one place. So since I couldn't find anything and nothing really worked, I created it. And hence, Tracktool was born. And that's what myself and now Eric is bringing out to you guys so you can see exactly what's there for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to show you this amazing system. Now, you're going to find when you see this, can you go here and there and everywhere and locate all this information at pretty much no cost to you? You can. But what's more valuable, time or money? Most people that have money don't have time. Some people that have time don't have the money. So if you have more time than money, this is definitely something you may not want. But if you're short on time or you want to find something that assists you to better utilize your time so you can spend more time doing what you love to do and spend more time with your family, then this is something you want to check out. So let me share my system with you, or my screen, and show this to you. So it's called Tracktool, and it's going to help you manage and organize and better market your system. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. It's going to take just a second. Okay. Sometimes Zoom takes a little bit to kick in. So what we have here, I'm going to show you. Every single one of these is a toolbox that opens up that tells you what's there. This is a very robust system. So at first, when you begin, you're going to come to what we call your dashboard. So you're only going to see your top 3 leads in a system. So the way that I had done my system at first is when you have your leads and they go in the system, you have leads that are right here on the bottom left. Then the next step is after you skip trace them, and that's the art of finding people, and you contact them and you have their current address, then it automatically moves up into contact and skip. The third section is if the claimant you're talking to, the person who is owed the money that you're talking to, says, yes, I would love to work with you, then you click some buttons, I'm going to show you, and all your paperwork is done. And now it moves up to paperwork. Then when you get the paperwork signed back, you upload it onto the system. So everything is in one place at all times, and it moves up to submitted. Now, submitted means you give it directly to the county or you go through an attorney. I myself suggest always going through an attorney so you can cover yourself. Now, anytime you have more than 3 leads in the system, this little view all right here comes up. So when you click it, all of your leads in the system show up, okay? Now, when you go back to this, what you're going to notice are some numbers here. These numbers on the bottom right are going to let you know how much your total surplus funds or excess proceeds, overages, whatever you want to call it, are in the system. So in this case, it's just over 2 million. Now, the total net is you're telling the system about how much profit you're going to get. In this case, we put 25%. So it calculates 25% of the total of the surplus for you to become your net. Then in each section, it calculates for you how much money you have in each section. So as the lead moves up the system, these dollars that you see in each section change, but the total figure of the bottom dollar never changes. So we're going to go ahead and show you a couple things on the main page since we're here. So you see the dashboard, that's clicking right here on the upper right side where it says dashboard. Now to enter a lead, it's very simple. You can put in a lead one by one, or you can upload your leads by taking the upload template, downloading it to your system. You don't have to print anything out. And then you just cut and paste and fill all those sections into your lead template. Then you name it, you choose the file, which attaches to your computer, and then you upload it. And just like that, within 10, 20 seconds, you can put up to 50,000 leads in your system. Now I'm going to tell you, if you put in anything over 1,000, chances you ever reaching that many people, pretty slim. But this is a very robust system, and it also has a section for business. Now the business lets you know you can pick the form state, you can pick the date it was formed, so you have all the information. So this is for your business, and if there's multiple signers, meaning multiple people in the business, you just hit the plus sign. Now, you're going to find there's only one registered agent that you can have. So there's only one spot to fill out for the registered agent. But going back now, you're going to notice also, suppose that person was married. How can you tell if you have a co-claimant? Well, let's go back to the dashboard for a second. I'm going to go back and forth. This arrow shows there is a co-claimant. We don't know if it's a wife, a partner, a friend, a business partner. We have no idea. We just know there's a co-claimant. So it could be 1, it could be 5. Paul Simon here doesn't have any arrow. So you don't know that there's a co-claimant. So we're going to show you a co-claimant. Everything on your lead is collapsed. So we like to say it's Apple-esque, crisp and clean the way that it looks. So right here in the lead, this little arrow or this little check mark in blue tells you there's a co-claimant. So anytime it's collapsed, it doesn't matter. We just don't want to clutter up the screen. You can see all their information. Now, there's a co-claimant. Here is, say, Sherry. So if you go, there's nothing here, but if you click it, everything switches down here to Sherry Black. Now you can put her current information if she lives in a different address than Tom. If not, just leave it alone and you don't have to worry about it. So to go back to Tom, it tells you right here, click to see the claimant's current information again, and it immediately goes back to Tom. So you can see his current information. Okay, it's very, very simple. Now I'm going to show you something. Let's go back to the dashboard for a moment. We're all about saving time. So we're going to pick Ola Kirk here. So if you notice on Ola, here's all her information. Now we want current information. So let's say she lives right here. Okay, 8769 Pike Road. Okay, now here's the neat thing about it. If you notice, zip code comes before city, state, and county. So let's put our zip code. I happen to live in 28173. And boom, just like that, your city, your state, and your county are filled in. And you can put more information. So you can even select social networks for the person. These are all the current social networks and a link that works. If you have more than one, you just click the plus sign and it opens up. Now, while we're in the lead, just to show you, you can have work information. So if you know where this person works, you can put all their information. Maybe they work 2 jobs, you click the plus sign. Previous information, because a lot of people that are working on this, and Eric, you know this, a lot of people, when they reach somebody, probably the number one thing I've ever heard about is, this is a scam and I would know if I had money. Is that what you've heard? I believe that it is. So you hit previous info, and that's their previous address. So you can say, well, Eric, just to make sure I have the right person, you lived at 234 Smith Avenue, and you lived at 123 Jones Street. You hit submit, and it takes in the system, and you can put the onus on them and say, well, I just want to know, do I have the right person? And they say, yes, I live there, then you know you have the right person. Liens is really important because there are a lot of people that follow all the lien information that are on somebody. So your mortgage liens, you can sit here and tell what kind of mortgage it is, fill out the information. You can tell whether it's been satisfied or not, put a book and page and a date, and you can add multiple mortgages if you want, okay? To keep things nice and neat, take it off, and it's still there. Same thing with tax or judgment. So, and it tells you there's a judgment here. This is a tax. If you click mortgage, that shows up and you can see mortgage. So everything is here at all the time. And when you minimize it and you take it away, it's still there, that information. Now, relations is important because maybe you can't find the person, but you found somebody you believe knows them. Could be their parents, could be a sister, a brother, could be a coworker. So we have a place for relations. You can put any relation you want. If you're not sure, you just hit unknown and you put all their information. And here you can follow along. Maybe you find them on Facebook. You put Facebook, you put their link here, and voila, now you have them. You can put their work information. Maybe you know their relation works multiple jobs and you want to add more relations. You can just keep going down and put, I think, up to 10 relations on here. So there's not a problem. Okay. And again, when you close it up, it's nice and neat and you know it's there. Now, profit analysis is really cool. This pops up. And the reason the verification popped up is because when I had all these people working for me, I didn't want them to verify anything. I wanted it to run through me. So I was a bit of a control freak. So they would click verify, or I need verification. You'll see that button on the system. And then I would get an email that said, Eric is requesting me to verify this. So then I would call Ola and I would say, Ola, if there's anything on here that is not true, that you've heard different from, say, somebody else at work for me, then just hang up the phone and don't do business with me. Now, if you don't have somebody working for you, then you just hit bypass. And this is what opens up. Now, what's really neat is you can tell them what kind of surplus it is, and is it encumbered or unencumbered, or a hybrid, both. And encumbered means there is a lien or judgment against it taking all the money. Unencumbered means that all the money is there for the taking. Hybrid means a little of both, okay? So you can tell them, or if you're not sure, just hit not sure, and that pops up here. The system tells you what kind of money it is. So you have a funds distribution, which means the total amount of funds. And here on this example, we have a 60-40 split. But the actual funds could vary, and I'll show you how it's different in just a second, because some expenses are going to come out here. Now, AE stands for account executive. That was somebody that used to work for me. We called them account executives. So we just put AE. So you can write on here what percentage of the deal that you're going to get, you're going to give them. And if you joint venture, a number of you joint venture with Eric. So if you joint venture, then you can put how much he gets. And it's immediate. Say he gets 50%. It calculates it immediately, and it changes all the numbers. Now, to show you how complete it is, and the system looks complex, but it's not, okay? Real quick, just to let you know, on every single page, there's a video tutorial that only goes 3 to 5.5 minutes each. So you don't have to watch an entire presentation or something else. You can get right to what you want to know. And some people don't like video tutorials. They prefer PDFs. So we have a corresponding PDF video for you that has circles, arrows, squares, rectangles, everything, so that you can see it, okay? But in the meantime, let's go back here. I want to show you something. So let's say the attorney is going to cost $2,000, okay? So I want you to watch this bottom figure, total acquisition expense, right here at the bottom. And I want you to watch claimant funds right here, okay? So we're going to put $2,000. Now, it calculates it immediately. And if you notice here, it took off $2,000. And it has recalculated everything. Now, for the company, this means $2,000 comes out of the claimant expenses. Let's say court costs were $150, okay? So all of a sudden it recalculates here $150 less, which changes the amount the AE gets, the account executive, and it changes how much you JV for, because it's all calculated and predicated on percentages. Now, if you go to the back end means how much percentage the claimant gets versus the company. So let's say the filing fees were $1,000. I'm just using round figures. Okay. So since we have a 60-40 split right now, 600 of the 1,000 comes from the claimant funds, 400 comes from the company gross, which means the calculation for the account executive is based on 400 less, and the JV commission is counted on 400 less. But say you didn't JV, so you can change that at the bottom, and you can tell here how much money you're going to get. So it calculates it immediately, and by changing it down here, changes it up top on the right as well and shows 0%. So you can see here how these numbers under funds distribution are a little bit different than actual funds. So you know there is a little over 55,000 in this example in surplus, but this breaks it down after expenses. And that's what makes this so powerful. Now, correspondence is powerful. That is how you communicate with the person. So if you go here, it's very robust. You have a follow-up date. You can pick a time. You can pick how are you going to follow up with the person. Okay, there's a timestamp. So for those of you living in different parts of the country, it will calculate all the US. Now, if you're out of the country, this has time zones for the entire world. And you can figure out what kind of lead type is it and how important it is, okay? So that you know. You can set reminders, hours and minutes, and it appears in your system and tells you you have to call this person in X amount of minutes or X amount of hours. And you can set up to 10 reminders right here. You can attach your paperwork directly to this file. Say I want to email Eric this paperwork. I can choose the file, attach it, and then I can email it. So if you went to, you check email, and I put Eric Richardson's email here, I can CC anybody listening to this, and maybe I want to blind carbon copy somebody, and I don't want them to see this information. So you can send this out. It's very powerful. And this just shows you this is a company I used to have. So you can see how you can set this up. You can put different companies you are a part of. You can put different links, addresses, and you can put your header. Or if you want, you can put it down below. So it's very powerful. And I'm going to show you something else. So maybe I just talk to somebody on the phone. You can just type up the note, okay? Now, I want to show you something. Right here is the lead date. If you look at the top right, just below. Right here is the lead date. So this tells you the date the lead was put in the system. So it lets you know at all times. Now, let's go back to dashboard because I'm going to show you something that's really neat. So if you notice on these, there is no correspondence, but down below, underneath this one, for Ramika Clark, there's a 1 and a 2. And the reason is, I want to show you this. You should never have to go into lead to see where you are. So right here, you can tell Ramika has a co-claimant, somebody else to get money. But if you want to see what you talked about, it tells you there's an email on number 2, and it time and date stamps it and tells you what the email says. And if I scroll over number 1, that is a note that's time and date stamped and tells you what the note says. So you always know where you are on a lead without having to physically go into the lead. And it shows you something else I'm going to show you. It's a very robust system. So here you go to document upload, And say Eric is using the system and he uploads all his documents on here. So he drags and drops them or he browses his computer, either way. And what's going to happen is all the documents are going to show up here in a Word document. So you can use Word or Pages or whatever you use, and it will download it again after you've uploaded it in case you want to make some changes. Okay. Now, when you go to checklists, this is the really cool thing. So here, let me get rid of this just to show you something real quick. So I'm in North Carolina. Okay. Now, if you notice, North Carolina is not here on the checklist. Okay. So I'm in North Carolina. And this is going to show you how simple this is to do. Okay. So now it tells you the system always lets you know that checklist has been added. And if you look down here, North Carolina is here. So there's an arrow instead of a plus. That's because this is just the state. You don't have individual counties. So to put a county, we select North Carolina. That's the checklist. And the sub checklist, let's say Union County. That's the county I live in. Okay. Now it tells you it's been added, but let's put in another one just to show you. I want to show you something. So here's North Carolina. So where Charlotte is Mecklenburg. Okay. So we add that. Just like that, it's been added. Now there's a plus sign. Why? Because each county is here. So if we go to Union, this is really cool. Okay. Let's say that we want to put these two documents into the checklist. Just like that, they're now part of the checklist. If you want to take them out, you just take them out of the checklist. Want to put it back in? Now they're part of the checklist. So to show you something, now we go and we want to move things up. So let's take Ola for a minute so you can see how this works. So we say Ola lives at 5687 Pike Street. And the reason it didn't take earlier is because I didn't hit submit. You have to hit submit for it to take in the system. Okay. Now, if you noticed before, this was Ola was here in leads. Now Ola is in contact skip. Why? Because I put her current address. I can now find her. So let's continue with Ola for a minute. So I call Ola, I get in touch with her. She says, hey, Jeff, this sounds great. Let's do it. I'm going to do the paperwork. So I go to File Docs, okay? All of the states that I created checklists open up, and now, let's say she lives in Union County. I click that. I click this. This is the two papers. If you just want one, you can click one. I usually put everything I'm going to use into the checklist when I was doing this. We hit submit, and now you're going to see this. Do you want to move this lead in the paperwork section? So I'm going to click yes, but I'm going to show you this first. So there's something called unsigned. So these documents are not signed by Ola yet. So we move it up the system. See, the signed documents are empty because we haven't gotten them back yet. Now, Docufill is something I'm going to tell you about for a minute. Well, I'll tell you about it right after this. So let's move this up the system, and it tells you she's been moved to the paperwork section. So let's go back to the dashboard. Now, when we check, we're going to see Ola is here. She's been moved up to the paperwork section. And if you notice on the dashboard, every time you move something up, her dollars move up as well. But the dollars on the bottom always stay the same. Okay. Now, let's say we go back to Ola for a second. And we'll say that Ola has sent me a document that's signed. So, or the notary sends me information it's signed. So I go ahead and I'll upload the signed document. So I'm just going to pull something. We'll pull it off my desktop. Hold on a minute. So after the file docs are done, we can go back there. We go to signed. Okay. As you can see, there's nothing there. So what happens now is these are the documents we send for her to get signed. Okay. Now, let's say she's gone ahead and she signed them and we've uploaded them into the system. So now they show up as signed. And it asks you, do you want to submit this lead? Okay. And to submit it. So we say yes. And then it double checks, are you sure you want to do this? And do I want to revert it back? No, I don't want to send it back. I want to move it up. And now when you check, we go here, here's Ola. She's under submitted. And that's how simple the system is. Now, I'm going to get to Docufill in a second, but I want to show you something. You can put, the system doesn't come with any categories, okay? You can create a category. I'm going to show you something. Let me delete a couple here. Because I'm going to show you something. So the system always asks you if you want to do something. It's a fail safe. So we go ahead and take some out. Now, let's say we want to add a category. We're just going to say Eric right now. Okay. So we create a category called Eric, and right there is the category. Now we want to add a contact. All the categories are here, including Eric. Now, let me show you something. Let's say we pick an attorney. So you put their information. You can tell who views it, okay? Everybody can view it that's on the system that you have, or just you who's assigned. Now, let's say that this attorney works Arizona. Watch the box next to it on the right, attorneys working county. I just click that, every county automatically fills in. Now, if it's an attorney, usually the attorney will work the whole state because they're licensed for the whole state. So you just hit select all, and now the attorney is selected for the entire state. You can put all their work information here. If you have their home information, and any comments like the guy's real nice, the guy's not nice, however, and you can add multiple comments. Now, if it's an attorney, they have a fee agreement. You might want to upload that fee agreement so it becomes part of their file. And you also have an opportunity, maybe you find them on his social media, and you can add that too if you want to send them a quick DM or something like that, direct message. And you hit submit on the bottom to add the contact, and he becomes added on the list. And on everything, you can always import and export. Okay. Now, also, let's go back for a second. So that's all your contacts. So the resources are, you have a 50 language notary guide. You can tell whether it's a tax or lien or tax deed state, I'm sorry. You have a mortgage deed and deed of trust state, and all 50, in case you're curious, all 50 foreclosure summary laws. You can run a report on anything that you want in the system. And since each section is by itself, you can't you can't alphabetize or monetize each separate section. So you hit my leads, and all your leads and all your pages are here at the bottom, and you can decide whether you want it low dollar to high dollar or high dollar to low dollar. You can alphabetize it by county, by zip code, by state, anything you want, okay? Now, let's go back to Docufill for a minute, because I promised you I would do that. So Docufill, you have a simple set of keywords here. We didn't know which keywords you wanted, so we put all of them here. And what happens is, on the paperwork, you put that keyword where a blank is, and all your paperwork is automatically filled out. Instead of taking an hour, 45 minutes to fill out paperwork, because you have to cut and paste all the paperwork, and put the person's name and the dollar amount, and maybe the file or tax ID number, their address, all that information takes time. So if you want to save time, we have it set up so you can docufill the documents, and now in under 10 seconds, all your paperwork is done. And that means all of it. And once you set it up once and you assign it to a checklist, you never have to do it again. So the only thing you're going to have different than most of the documents you have, like for Eric's paperwork, is your claim form per county, because most counties have different claim forms. So you set it up once for that county and you never have to do it again. So we're going to have some specials for you. Let me get to that right now. So what happens here, okay, we have a special. I don't have the whole thing showing here. We have an action takers only money back guarantee. So you have to take action and show that this doesn't work, and you can get all your money back. No questions asked, okay? But you have to show us that you've actually used this system. So you can't let this just sit there and never use it and go, oh, it doesn't work for me, I want my money back. I can't make you use the system. You have to want to do it, okay? So just to show you a few things here, let's see, because I'm not doing the whole thing here for you, showing you everything. So I'm just going to cut to this real quick. So the bonuses we have are going to be for you. You get a special Tracktool price. So normally it's one person, but we're going to include 3. And we're going to put the 3 on your monthly costs as well. And what's really cool about this system also is, say I'm working with Eric, okay? So Eric has 100 leads, and he's got me and he's got Bob. Well, Bob has 20 leads, I have 20 leads, Eric has 60 leads. That makes up 100. Bob can only see his 20 leads. I can only see my 20 leads. I can't see what Bob or Eric are working on, but Eric can see all 100 leads because that's Eric's business. So everything is compartmentalized that way. So it's really simple. And one thing I wanted to show you that I did do is to show you how easy it is to assign something, okay? So right here, now this comes from the people that work for you. That's assigned, okay? So right now we say it's Ian. The attorneys that already have in a system, we're going to say John Galt, okay? And notary, we're going to pick Cheryl. Oop, forgot to pick Cheryl. See, everything make sure that you work the system, okay? And just like that, they're all part of the system. It's very simple. Also, let's say you're sleepy, you're making a mistake. I don't really want to delete Tom, but let's say I hit delete. So the system says, are you sure you want to do this? No, I don't. So I can come to my senses and not do it. Now, why would you archive somebody? You might archive somebody because you got the money. You don't want it cluttering up your system. So you hit archive and it asks you the reasons. You completed it, they denied the claim, or they went behind us and stabbed us in the back. So we're going to say denied right now. We hit archive. Now he's disappeared. But if we go to archive, he's there. Now, suppose we want to make it active again. You just click it and he's back in the system. So everything is that simple. If it's inactive, it asks you, why is it inactive? I need further research on this person because I can't find him, or he's dead. Okay, let's say he's dead right now. We put him in inactive. You go to inactive. There he is. I made a mistake. Active, boom. He's right back where he was. So it's that simple. And if it's not assigned, you can see all the leads that you have in the system that you haven't assigned to anybody. Now, if you're a one-man show, you're going to always be the super admin, and it's going to assign it directly to you. If you have more than one person, you have to tell the system. Okay, so it's very robust. Let's go back here for a minute and look at the bonuses. So also, normally there's a cost for Docufill and it costs monthly for Docufill. We're just going to give it to you for free. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to pay monthly for it. We have a private Facebook group set up for you. I do trainings only in the private group. And very soon, we're going to have skip tracing and integration, two-way text messaging, click to call features. We're going to have all the leads around the country that we can have, and we're going to have lead integration too. Nobody, and I mean nobody, has all the features that this thing has. And if they do, I want to know about it because I pride myself on what's happening here. So we're going to do a fast action bonus for anybody that wants to sign up immediately through Eric's link. Eric's going to send me his paperwork, and the fast action first one bonus we're going to give you is we're going to fill out all the paperwork for you and put all the keywords in. Plus, we're going to upload that information onto your system so you don't have to do it. It's going to save you a lot of time and effort, as well as you get a one-on-one with me for 45 minutes to find out anything Tracktool. We'll share screens, I'll go in your system, and I'll help you set everything up if you need it or when you need it. And we also have a special only for the fast track people. If you pay for 10 months in advance, you get a free 2 months. So you'll get a year of the service for only 10 months. Now, what does it cost? Because a lot of you are asking. So the cost here, we have two. Let me find that one for a minute. Okay. So normally the cost is $1,000, $120 a month for one person, and then $79 a month for each individual person. We are going to give this system away for $797 upfront and $97 a month, or $797 and $970 for the year. Now, for those of you that don't have that much money right now, we have a special. We're going to charge $897 and $97 a month, and you can get started for only $197 down, and for the next 4 months, payments of $199.25 and $97 a month. So we're going to give you Eric's code, and it's going to be assigned to Eric so you can see this without an issue. Okay. And Eric, do you have any questions on the system for me?
No, you covered everything. You did a great job explaining that. So guys, the links
Thank
will
you.
be in the description. This is a tool that can definitely assist you guys. So if you guys are ready, make sure you take advantage of it so you can get this discount.
Definitely. And Eric and everybody watching this, I want to thank you all for your time. And I really appreciate it. And I hope I can help you on your journey to success.